Indian Institute of Management in Bangalore has recently partnered with edX, an online non-for-profit initiative based in the US. Together, they have launched IIM BX. The program aims to provide quality and free education to students in India and abroad through massive open online courses. To tell us more about these courses and how they will impact the education space in the country, I am joined today by Dr. Sushil Vachani, Director of IIM Bangalore. Sir, thank you so much for joining us today. Starting off, if you could tell us a little bit about the courses you're offering as MOOC courses.
No, we are going to be offering a number of courses. Right now we have announced 4 courses which will begin launching on the 7th of July, starting with Business Statistics 1. That will be followed up with Business Statistics 2 around September. We're also going to offer a course in Information Technology and Innovation and a course in Operations Management. That will be part of a series. So the first one is Operations Management 1. Now these are just the first 4 of 10 courses we want to launch in the next 12 months. So we have a whole series of courses. They'll cover all the basics of management. And then from there we'll pick it up and go into more specialized courses.
All right. So how would you say that these MOOC courses are going to affect the education space in the country?
So I think this is an absolutely marvelous opportunity for the country. You know, the thing is that the IIMs and the IITs and all these world-class institutions, they provide a great education, but that education is available only for a very, very microscopic part of the population. Just because, you know, you need to have faculty in the classroom, a certain ratio of faculty to students, the campus infrastructure is limited. The needs of the country are much, much larger. So what one has to do is use technology to get that education out to many more people. And it has to be high quality education. So previously also there were online initiatives, but what used to happen is that the top universities were not getting into it, and the quality used to be patchy, and it was often uninteresting. So, you know, like a university like MIT, way back about 10 years ago, had open courseware. They put all their courseware on the website. But just to have the courseware there, a student would find it very difficult to navigate through it and find it interesting and learn from it. Now what happens is with the MOOCs, you have not just the standard material from the courses, but it is designed and the presentation is designed in such a way that it makes it much easier for the student to understand, makes it a lot more interesting. There are some interactive things. So it's, you can sort of overcome the obstacle of the material being uninteresting at a distance. You can actually make it very interesting. So now we have the opportunity that you can have the same number of faculty and who are teaching very valuable materials, and you can actually get them out to much larger population. So the potential impact of using MOOCs and technology in general, either by themselves or in blended formats, where you have some in-class education and some distance education, is absolutely enormous.
All right. So how would you say that MOOCs and e-learning are affecting or impacting the way teachers present material to their students?
You know, it's actually very interesting. You know, first, when you think about doing a MOOC and presenting material, you think, oh, well, I just stand in front of the camera and I speak to the camera. And then you find that that's just not enough. You know, no one wants to see a particular faculty member's face for the next 60 minutes in a lecture. Right? It becomes very uninteresting. Even though in a class you would see the faculty member, you're interacting, you're doing many more things. So what happens is, in fact, they found is that when you have a video recording, for the first 6 minutes people may be interested, but after 6 minutes it begins to taper off. The learning begins to taper off. So you can't have segments more than 6 minutes. That, for example, even in a 6-minute segment, you can't just have the faculty member on the image. You have to have, if he's talking about or she is talking about a concept, you have to have some kind of graphics, maybe animation, and so on. So you have to be very creative about presenting this material that you're used to teaching very effectively in class to make it effective at a distance to a student who isn't sitting across from you and with whom you can make eye contact and tell whether she's interested. You have to present it in a very different way, in a much more powerful way.
So, sir, do you see MOOCs and e-learning sometime in the future perhaps fully replacing traditional university education?
No. I think it's practically impossible to completely replace traditional education. See, even traditional education is evolving as we go. You know, the structure of courses, in the old British system, you had an exam at the end of the first year. You didn't have as much evaluation as you went along. So education systems will evolve. What's going to happen is that the use of technology will create an awareness of how to teach better. It will also provide materials that can be used to supplement what is happening in class. In some cases, when the students have to be far away because they can't all get admission to a campus, or because they can't afford the campus education, or come to live here, or come away from their jobs, you may have education happening 100% at a distance, or 90% or 80%. But the universities where you have in-class education provide a certain amount of value which results from the interaction in the class among the students themselves and the student and the faculty. There's a certain value there which is very difficult to replace. Now, the institutions will keep on researching on how to replicate that value over time, and there will be more successes. But I think the day when you will completely replace universities is very, very far, and I don't know if it will ever be reached. But I think that the in-class education will be supplemented and strengthened and enriched a lot from our learning from the technology space.